Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please do excuse my fresh face. It is incredibly warm here in the UK today, and I've taken all of my makeup off because my hay fever was playing up, so I needed to wash my face. So here we are. In today's video I'm just going to sit and chat to you for today, and don't know what I'm going to call this new series of video that I've got planned, but it's just very casual, very chatty, discussing my plans, what I've been up to, and I'm hoping to just update you sort of weekly or there or thereabouts, just with what I've been up to. So let me grab my first project, which I do keep at the side of the sofa here, and it is technically sewing to an extent, but it is a cross stitch pattern. Now the pattern that I've got, which I'm about to show you, it has got details on there of a name and date of birth and that sort of thing, but it isn't anybody I know. I don't think they're true details. This is purely just it came on the pattern when I bought it as an example. So this here, as you may be able to tell, is a Peter Rabbit cross stitch, and I'm not that far into it, but it's taking quite a while, as I'm sure if you've done cross stitch before you will know. Let me just grab hold of that needle so I don't drop it. That's all I've done. So I've done part of the three little rabbits at the top. So cross stitch is relatively new to me, I would say. Let me just see if I can give you a little close up. There you go. So yeah, cross stitch is something that I vaguely remember doing when I was younger. So literally as a child, so they would have been sort of very basic cross stitch patterns and designs, and probably quite small and quick to finish in comparison to that one. But that one, should have put a disclaimer: if you're a friend of mine and you've had a baby this year, don't watch this video. I don't think she does anyway. I don't think I've ever shared my channel with her. But yeah, so that one is going to be for a friend of mine. She had a baby this year, so obviously I will be cross stitching the baby's name and date, and I think it's their birth weights as well that's on there. Oh no, it's not, just name and date, that's fine. Yeah, so I'll be putting that onto that and giving it as a gift. I have already given them some of their baby gifts already. I made a little set of dungarees. If you've watched my previous videos, that was for them. But I just let them know, you know, they know that I sew and all of that sort of thing. So I said, you know, I've got a project that's underway, so I've got other gifts to give you, but they're just not quite ready yet. But I'm seeing them in a few weeks, and I really would like that to be completed. So that's going to be sort of main thing for me that I want to get done. So it's down here in the living room, next to where I sit on the sofa, so that if an evening, if I'm sat here, hopefully I can just get some cross stitch done, because yeah, it's taken a while and I need to get that project done. But I am really enjoying it. I mean, even though I've only made that sort of small amount of progress, I feel like I've taken that cross stitch everywhere with me so far. Sort of went camping and it came with me, that sort of thing, because I'm just trying to get it done. But yeah, I don't know how many sort of hours I've clocked up of it yet. I've probably realistically only had about 4 or 5 sessions of it now, so not a lot. But yeah, that is a project that I really, really want to get done soon. By the end of this month, really, I think, by the end of June. And then what else have I got on? I would also like to make that same baby a little summer hat for this year. That would be another project that I'd like to do. My sister got a sewing machine this week. I did actually purchase it for her, but it's secondhand. I bought it off a friend. And long story, I broke my sister's sewing machine many, many years ago when I was doing my GCSEs. It's the reason that I didn't get a good grade at art textiles, because I no longer had the machine during my exam because it got broken at the start. Whole story, but I was more gutted about breaking my sister's sewing machine. I was more gutted for her than what I was for my GCSE, because she'd had the machine so long. Anyway, I finally got round to replacing it this week, about 10 years later, and she is absolutely overjoyed. She's really, really happy. So I've given her some of my smaller pieces of fabric so that she can test her new machine and try all of her stitches out and that sort of thing, and she's really, really happy with it. She's really pleased. So yeah, so glad that my sister is now sewing again. That's good fun. And we might be able to like work on some projects together or things like that. Who knows? And then what else have I got on? I'm sure there's loads of stuff that I want to be doing. I do have a pair of dungarees. They're currently in the wash at the minute, I know, because I wore them yesterday, but they're blue floral. They're really, really lightweight. They're like a cotton or a cotton poplin, I think. And they are what are they? The Sophia dungarees by Tilly and the Buttons. Absolutely love that pattern. One of my favourite patterns. And yeah, as I say, I wore them yesterday. It was, gosh, I don't know, about somewhere between about 25 and 28 degrees. It was really, really warm. It was really humid. We had a thunderstorm last night. And it was just so humid all day. But I wore those dungarees yesterday in that cotton, and they were absolutely beautiful to wear. I had quite a few compliments on them, and people saying, oh, I bet they're really cool. So although they're sort of 3/4 length bottoms, they do actually keep you cool. I think they sort of stop your legs sticking together when they're hot. As grim as that is, but yeah, really beautiful. So I am considering, I've got an old duvet that I'm considering making into another pair of those Sophia dungarees, but probably won't be this week, but will be on my radar. But hold me accountable to that cross stitch, definitely. So when I catch up with you next week, ask me where I'm at with it because I want to have made progress. But yeah, so the Sophia dungarees will come around at some point. Because I would like to have another really cool pair of those Sophia dungarees, because I do have, I think, one other pair of them now, but they're thicker, they're black, they're in, yeah, definitely a thicker fabric, so they're not quite summer, they're maybe like summer evening at the moment. Then what else have I got on? I'm a bit disappointed, I won't lie. So I went through the whole Tilly and the Buttons again, Mabel dress I made first, and I absolutely loved it, but I did have to take it in quite a bit after I made it, and I was like, oh, you know, might just be my seam allowances were off, and I do think I made the seam allowances slightly smaller than what they should have been. I then made the Mabel blouse, and I was like, oh, I absolutely love it, it's just so pretty. But then every time I've put it on, and the Mabel dress, I went to wear that yesterday and then took it off. And I've been the same with the blouse, because I'm just finding they swamp me and they're just too big. And I don't know if you've watched a Mabel dress video that I did, you will know that per my measurements, I actually made a size too small. So I made a size 3 in the pattern, and it should have been a size 4 based on my measurements. So although I did the seam allowances slightly smaller, actually that should have been okay if I was doing a slightly smaller size. But it's not, they're just really, really big. I don't know what it is. It could be my error. I'm totally open to that being a reality. It could be that my shirring isn't tight enough, but I did test it and I'm pretty certain it was. It's really tight, like the actual shirring, obviously not on me, because that's what I'm saying it's not, but my shirring comes together nice and tight, and I've ironed it and steamed it, you know, to make it shrink more. But yeah, I just don't know what it is. But I did see on a Facebook group somebody had said, is anybody struggling with the Tilly and the Buttons patterns, because they're coming up absolutely huge. Now, I know some of the Tilly and the Buttons patterns are designed to be more oversized, and that's absolutely fine, but I just wouldn't expect the Mabel to be, because it's got all the shirring. It should, those bits of shirring should come quite close to the body, be quite fitted in those areas. But yeah, like the shoulders, I just find they fall down, or they just like bag up. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with it, and I don't know what it is, but I've made 2 of them now, so surely they can't both, well, they could both be my error, couldn't I? But the blouse, I was more strict with the seam allowance, because I knew I'd made it too big in the first one. But yeah, and what's even worse now is that I did a video of I think that might have been the one that I didn't post, or I did post in the end. I can't remember now. Apologies, I can't remember. I know I did a video and then I didn't post it because I wasn't happy with it. I don't think, was it that one? I really can't remember. I'm sorry. But But yeah, so basically I cut out another couple of the Mabel blouses because I was like, I love it, it's so pretty, but actually I haven't worn it and now I don't know what to do. Unless I'm really strict with the seam allowances, but I don't know if that's going to hinder the actual shape of the garment when it comes out. You know, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head what the seam allowance is, whether it's 3/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, I can't remember. But whether I do like an inch, inch and a half, I don't know, or whether I switch out the shirring for elastic so I can make sure it's like actually measured to my body. That might be an idea, mightn't it? So if I do a couple of rows of elastic instead of the shirring, because then I can sort of dictate more what the actual outcome of the size will be. Who knows? Let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm really, really sensitive with sewing. I'm a bit of a perfectionist in life, with quite a lot of things, and if I have a bad sewing project, it really then puts me off sewing, and I won't even pick up my sewing machine for a while until I find something that I'm really excited about again. And that, I sort of do think that that's what's happened with this Mabel, because I absolutely loved it and I was so excited, and I made the dress and I made the blouse, but I haven't actually wore the dress yet. And the blouse I've just put back on my mannequin because I keep thinking, oh, I'll alter it at some point and make it the right size. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Any tips or anything to help me get it to fit better. If you think it's something that I've done, let me know so I can change it. Or if you're having the same issue, let me know. And I possibly just won't make it again. Or if you've got any tips as to how to do it better. But yeah, and then I've made I've cut out a pair of Sophia trousers, again from Tilly and the Buttons, so I do usually love her. I've cut out the Sophia trousers, but in a shorts version, so I just chopped the legs off to make them shorter. So yeah, so I've cut those out, but I haven't sewed them yet. So I would like to do that at some point, and it's in a yellow print, it's got strawberries all over it. And then I've been having a real think through my style. I know I've mentioned it before, and I've had a couple of comments on Instagram when I mentioned it, just that I don't know what my style is. I don't know what I want to wear. I'm a bit torn, and actually I've been doing a lot of reading and watching on YouTube, like find your style videos, and actually I think the reality is that I think I was trying to, not rabbit hole myself, something like that, like corner myself into one style, and actually that's not practical, because realistically I'm not going to wear the same thing if I go into my work office as what I would if I go on a dog walk. So I don't know why I was trying to pinhole myself into like one style and that's it. So I've been having a really good think, and I now think I've worked out what my main style is, and then I can sort of work around that for my different scenarios. So I do have dogs, one of which is a foster dog, and he's disabled. He's only small, and he requires a lot of bending down and picking him up, basically, because he can't walk. So the reality for me is that something really uncomfortable or something like a short dress isn't necessarily practical for me, because I'm constantly bending down to him. And then just having dogs, it's just you do need to wear something a bit more practical on the days that, you know, you're sort of with the dogs, that sort of thing, taking them on walks. So that's sort of, basically, I'm going to do a whole video on what it is that I did to work out my style and what it is that I need in my wardrobe. Then I'm going to do a sort out of my wardrobe. And I think I'm just going to go into a whole different video, because this video is about 15 minutes long now anyway, 14 minutes long. Pre-edit, obviously. So I think I'm going to do a whole other video on how I found my style. That might come midweek next week. It might come towards the end of the week. We'll see. But yeah, I think I've really got a good idea now in my head of what it is that I want with my style. That might even mean that I do a de-stash of some of my fabrics and just buy some new stuff, because when I bought it I thought it was right and now it's not. But yeah, I think I'm finally coming to pinpoint my exact style, stuff that I'm happy with, being realistic. What am I actually going to wear? Yeah, so hold on to that thought and I will come back to you with a video on that. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that one there for today. Might call this Sewing Sunday, something like that. I don't know if that's a hashtag already on YouTube, but I'm sure they won't mind if I join in. But yeah, so that's it, I think, for this week. Obviously, lots of rambles, lots to think about, lots of cross stitch to get done. I'm going to give it a go now for an hour. But otherwise, I will catch you in the next one. Love to hear your comments down below, so please do let me know. Happy to take any advice, tips, anything like that. Let me know below, and I love having a chat with you all. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I do have a high percentage of people that watch my videos who aren't subscribed, so I'd love it if you could join. But yeah, otherwise I will catch you in the next one. I hope you have a lovely week. Bye bye.